I remade Saitama's consecutive normal punches in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Make your enemies explode under the constant barrage of punches. Watch until the end and you too can become the One Punch Man. Alright, the first thing we're going to need to do to get our build going is we're going to need an anvil. We're going to need a structure block. For those of you that don't know how to get a structure block, what we're going to do is / give at s structure underscore block. And that should put one right here in your hotbar. Go ahead and place that down. And I want you to adjust the size for the X, Y, and Z to 1. And then we're going to change the Y offset from -1 to +1. It's going to make this single block above the structure block. It's kind of the sensor area, and we're going to use that to save our custom button. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to go into your creative menu, and we're going to get a button. Specifically for this build, I have chose to use a dark oak button. If you don't want to use that, make sure you change the commands. If you just want to follow along, dark oak button is what you're going to grab. Alright, so we're going to put that dark oak button into the anvil, and I want to rename this consecutive normal punch. It's good. And go ahead and grab that. When you're finished renaming it, it'll let you know when you go over it on the hotbar. And now we're going to take that button and we're going to drop it down on top of the structure block. You should be able to see it in the bounding area, and then we're going to save it, as you can see over here, as consecutive. Oop, capitalize that C. Now the next thing I want to do before we get into the commands is we need to create a scoreboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to type into the chat scoreboard objectives add punch dummy punch, and actually we can capitalize that one. Now it's going to say the mine already exists, but when you do it, it's going to be like, woohoo, you did it. And now we can get started on the command portions. If you don't know how to get a command block, you're going to do / give at s command underscore block, just like basically with the structure block. And then we're going to go ahead and begin. So the first one I'm doing is going to be a repeating, always active command block. This one here is going to have a delay of 10, and it's not going to execute on the first tick. I'm doing /test4 at e name equals, in quotations, consecutive normal punch. So it's going to check for when we drop the button that we just named consecutive normal punch. Then this one here, chain conditional always active. We're going to do /scoreboard player set, and then you're going to put your username punch1. So when I drop the button, it's going to increase my scoreboard from 0 to 1. And then here, chain conditional always active. We're going to do /kill at e name equals, and again in quotations, consecutive normal punch. So it's going to get rid of the button after you drop it and after it changes the score to 1. So that's the trigger. The next part we're going to do here is how we change states. This one here, repeating always active. We're going to do /execute if score, and you're going to put your username punch matches 1. So that's only going to execute if you have a score of 1. Then it's going to run execute at, and then once again your username, run execute as at e, r equals 24, so that's looking for an entity that's within 24 blocks of you. The name is not browncoat67, in this case you're going to put exclamation point your username, that way it's not you. Type equals not armor stand, so we got the exclamation point there as well. We're going to run replace item, entity at s, so it's those items that are near, those entities that are nearby. Slot.armor.head 0, keep golden helmet 1 9999. So once you have the punch score set as 1, any entities within 24 blocks of you are going to get a golden helmet put on that is 1 hit away from breaking. Next we're going to head here. I have another repeating command block, always active. I'm going to do /execute at a name equals your username, as item equals dark oak button, quantity equals 0. So this is only going to execute on you when you don't have the button on you. It's going to run execute as at e r equals 5, name equals, again, not you, because you're going to put exclamation point your username. Type equals not armor stand, because we have the exclamation point armor stand. Run replace item entity at s slot.armor.head 0 keep golden helmet 1 9999. So this is going to look very similar to the command we already had. Once again, we're doing the replace item for the entity. This time though, you'll notice that the radius is significantly smaller. So the other one, when we're doing it at the larger radius of 24, puts the helmet on basically everything. This one is only specifically going to replace the helmet on one of those entities if you punch them. Because when you punch them, the helmet they have is going to break, and this command here is going to immediately replace that. Chains to that, chain conditional, always active. I'm doing /scoreboard, player set, brown code 67, punch 2. You're going to put your username there, but this is then going to change that score from 1 to 2, because now that you've hit the entity, it's time to actually do the consecutive normal punch. So I'm going to hop back up here for a second and switch over to this side, because this is how we're actually going to damage the entity that's getting attacked. So I'm doing repeating, always active, /scoreboard, players test, and you're going to put your username, punch 22. So this is checking for that scoreboard to be between the values of 2 and 2. So when it's 2, it'll actually return a positive output and it'll power this line. This one is chain conditional, always active. Doing execute as your username at s, positioned _, 4. So 4 blocks in front of you, we're going to run damage. Any entity within a radius of 4 that again is not named you, because you're going to put exclamation point your username. Type equals not item, because we have the exclamation point item. Type equals exclamation point XP orb. Type equals exclamation point armor stand. And we're going to do only 1 damage. It's going to be an entity attack, and the entity is going to be you. There's a reason we're only doing 1. Don't worry, that entity is going to die. This way, the animation works on both low-level mobs and high-level mobs. Now, the cool part is this is going to run every single time that it gets powered by this command block. So it's going to keep hurting the entity over and over again, and it's going to turn them red while it's hitting them, just like the consecutive normal punches that you see in the anime. Chains to this one here, chain conditional, always active. I'm doing /execute as your username at s, position _, 4. So very same beginning. This time though, we're going to run tag. The entities within 3 blocks, not you, because you're going to do exclamation point your username, exclamation point item here, type equals exclamation point XP orb, type equals exclamation point armor stand. And we're going to tag any entity that's not those things. We're going to tag it explode. Okay. Now this here, we have a single repeating always active command block off to the side. /effect at E, tag equals explode, slowness 10 true. This is going to make sure that when you hit the entity, and they're being the ones attacked, they're not going to be able to move. You don't want them, running away or anything like that. And then here, we have a way to revert the state back. So we're going to do repeating unconditional, always active. And it's going to be /scoreboard, players test, brown code 67, punch 22. So the same time that yours start to damage the entity, this is going to power up, and we have a comparator heading into an impulse command block. Now this impulse command block has a 50 tick delay, which means that it's going to be 2.5 seconds of damage before this impulse command runs. What we're doing here is /scoreboard, player set, your username, punch 0. So that's going to turn that score back to 0. And then chain conditional, always active. Execute at A, name equals brown code 67. Has item equals dark oak button, quantity equals 0. So when you don't have the button, here it's going to run structure load consecutive ~1 and it's going to give you back the consecutive normal punch button that you made earlier. All right, the last bit here is mostly visuals. So I'm going to start off over here with visuals 1. This is going to be repeating, always active, and we are doing /test4 at E, tag equals explode. So as soon as we tag the entity in front of us that we're using it on, this is going to run. The first thing I want to do is I want to look at this impulse command block here. You see we have a comparator heading in. This one, though, no delay. /execute at E, tag equals explode. Run, summon armor stand, named tracker, ~. So it's going to execute at the entity that we're attacking's position, and it's going to summon an armor stand right where they're at. And then here, chain conditional, always active. I'm doing slash effect at E, name equals tracker. That's the armor stand, and it's going to be invisibility 21 true. So the armor stand will be invisible when it's spawned in. Now chained off that main repeating command block here. Chain conditional, always active. I'm doing slash execute as at E, tag equals explode, at S, run particle. Minecraft obsidian glow dust particle, caret 1, caret 0.5. Now this is just a minor detail, but this is going to be some red kind of blood-looking particles in front of the mob when you're hitting them. And then here, chain conditional always active. I'm doing slash execute as at E, name equals tracker, so as the armor stand, I'm going to run teleport. And it's going to teleport itself to the position of the entity tagged explode, so it'll always stay where that entity is. Now we're hopping over here to visuals 2. Repeating, unconditional, always active. I'm doing slash execute at E, name equals tracker, unless entity at E, tag equals explode, R equals 5. So as long as the entity that we tagged explode is still alive, this will not activate. Because it's going to be at that entity's position, it will never be more than 5 blocks away. So it'll be when it dies that this actually runs. Then we're going to run particle, Minecraft huge explosion emitter. In the anime, when Saitama uses this, he punches the dude and he starts glowing red and then he explodes, just like pfft. So this is going to be an explosion particle. And then chained to that, chain conditional, always active. I'm doing slash execute at E, name equals tracker, run play sound, cauldron.explode, at A, R equals 20. So any players that are nearby, when the entity explodes, is going to hear an explosion. And then here, chain conditional, always active. I'm doing slash kill at E, name equals tracker. So after the explosion and the sound, we'll get rid of the armor stand. And this one has a small delay of 4 ticks. And we got 2 more here. This one is a cleanup command block, repeating, always active. And I'm just going to do slash kill at E, name equals, in quotations, golden helmet. Whenever you kill an entity using this, they're going to drop a really damaged golden helmet. And let's face it, golden armor is really not that useful anymore. So we're just going to kill all the golden helmets to make sure those are not laying all over the place. And then here is the kill command that's actually going to kill the entity. Repeat, always active. Execute if score, browncoat67, and you're going to put your username. Punch matches 0, run kill, at E, tag equals explode. So when that damage cycle up here ends, when we change the score back to 0, as soon as it hits 0, that entity is going to die, and it times out perfectly with when the explosion and the explosion sound play. If you want a little animation to go with it, there is the perfect emote that you can use. It's the best you're going to get in Minecraft Bedrock. For me, I have it set up for the hotkey where I can hit B and 2, and it does what's called the wood punch, which is an alternating punch between my arms. Yes, it's not perfect, but you know what? It looks pretty good. Hey, don't miss Saitama's death punch or serious punch videos. They're pretty groundbreaking. Wink. This is browncoat67. I'll catch you next time.